Alright, so somebody just sent me a private message wanting to know how I made these little queen cups. And I'm going to have to get this stupid cat out from in here. Come here. Yeah. Wants to play with the legs on the tripod. That'd make for a nice video, wouldn't it? Get out of here. Okay, now let's see if we can do this again. That was the apiary inspector. All the time posting pictures on Facebook of that thing. Alright, so that was a perfect waste of a totally good minute of time, wasn't it? I started out using those JZBZ cups, but I'm going back to the wax ones because I don't think the bees like them. The whole point of buying a plastic cup is to be able to reuse it. Well, when I reused them, the acceptance just ain't been hitting on a whole lot. So not only the acceptance, I've had queens die in the cell. Now I'm curious to see if I have that problem with these wax ones. Of course, I may or may not graft anymore this year. I got a guy up the road that's got a queen I wouldn't mind grafting from, so I might graft some of her stuff in there, and then we'll see how they do. I know they're bound to work better because they're natural. I mean, if the bees wanted wax, if they wanted plastic, they'd draw plastic, as far as that goes, instead of wax. So originally, I cut these plugs with a plug cutter, like you would cut them to drive into a hole in a piece of furniture or something where you put a bolt or a screw or something other, to hide it. One of them things. It's 3/4 of an inch. I originally centered these holes in them for the JZBZ cups, which I'm no longer going to use. These cages, I also took the plug cutter, because you'd use dowel rods, but that plug cutter's so easy. I just ran it down through a 2x4 or 2x something and made that, and that's what I used to form those, and then just solder them. I tried lead-free solder, and it will not adhere to the number 8 hardware cloth like the lead will. So I don't think a little drop of lead that big in the hive's gonna hurt anybody anyway. So let's see, and then to make a cell bar, I just use a 3/4 drill bit right there on that, and that's 3/4 stock. So you got to be real careful to get it in there. But I like these that close to the other comb beside it, so the bees can cluster as close to them as they possibly can to keep them warm. So I tried that with a standard width frame, and they wouldn't cluster close enough to them to do right. So I narrowed that down. Now let's see, what am I forgetting? I guess anything. The solder doesn't really adhere to this so much as the little drop of it will melt around it and then just hold it together. It's hard to get lead to stick to zinc galvanizing. It works. So I got a stack of them pre-cut, and you have to work out your measurements. I can't remember exactly the square count on those, but it works out so that make them like that. If you want to know about them wax cells, how to do that, Fat B-Man made a video a while back on them. And yeah, just look that up. Well, try to work around this camera here. A little drip of wax on that baby. Now, you see, once they get that cell capped, you just stick it right down in that cage like that. Alright, so I designed the length of these to where they would fit. They would fit inside of here like this, in between these, in between these two bars. So if for whatever reason that cage were to try to fall straight down, it would land on this right here and not, fall off. So you don't have to worry about dropping a handful of virgin queens all over top of each other. And of course the bottom one's the same distance. And this is 3/4 by 3/8 stock I ripped out of junk, But anyway, that's that. Alright. Now, there's my little wax cup deal I just stuck together. I need to make a jig with a bunch of them on it. The biggest thing I could tell anybody on this, the mistake I made when I first tried this, like say when I made that one, I finished it with wood finish. Don't do that. You need a raw wooden dowel rod. And the whole point of that is, when you dip these in water before you dip them in the wax, you want the wood to actually soak your water up, and that wax will not stick to that. It'll just pop right off of it. This is pretty. If you finish it with wood finish, the wax will stick to it just like glue, and you can't break them loose without tearing them up. But this way they'll just slide right back off because there's a layer of water in between. So that's that. And here's one I just rounded off to where I could stick in the cup and then stick it to these little plugs like that. Alright, let's see now. A little torch going. Straighten the wire like that right there. It's tedious stuff, but there's one place I was looking at that had them for sale online. They weren't quite what I wanted, so I made what I wanted. So see, wrapping it around a small dowel rod makes a sharp curve in it. And I got them cut to where one square overlaps. Just like that. that's that end. This is going surprisingly well considering I got a camera rolling. And that's that one. A little drop in the center. And I got the what becomes the bottom of them. I've got that measured off to where I'll cut 3 in. And fold them over just like that. So if you don't have anything else better to do, and now to shove that plug back out of there. Now let's see, heat that up a little bit. And flatten the bottom just like that. And there's your queenie cage. Perfectly 3/4 of an inch in diameter on the inside. And it'll fit one of them plugs just like that. So simple, but complicated. So there you go.